Well, I finally made it to the top here, Mount Rubidoux, one of the most haunted spots in Riverside, California here, and a very picturesque place to look around at the city. And I'm standing right up at the summit of Mount Rubidoux. Right here we've got the flag on one side. The cross is behind me. We'll go for a little walk. We'll take a look at the cross at the very summit. But I wanted to show you this tower here because this tower right behind me, this is the haunted tower here on Mount Rubidoux. Mount Rubidoux, it's a park, and it's had that cross monument on the other side since 1909, I believe. It was put up in honor of Father Junipero Serra, who brought the missions to California in the 1700s. The most interesting thing about it, though, is it's haunted. There are a lot of ghost stories here. This is one of the hotbeds of local legends here in Riverside County. I just hiked all the way up here. It's a hell of a hike. And forgive my voice, I didn't bring enough water for this trip. But this tower here is one of the spots that locals told me about. I asked around. I stopped for lunch at a place called Butch's Grinders, a little hoagie sandwich shop. And they told me there are a lot of ghost stories. People say that especially at night they see ghosts up here, hear things, even during the daytime. Sometimes you'll be hiking alone along these mountain trails and you'll hear somebody coming up right behind you. And then when you turn around to see who it is, there's nobody there. But you could have sworn you heard these footsteps coming up right behind you, just like those footsteps that you can hear coming up behind me right now. Except those footsteps are probably this dude behind me walking under the bridge. Be that as it may, it's a creepy looking bridge. It's an interesting tower. It's got all these little seals up on it dedicated to countries. But first when I saw them, I thought they were some kind of occult symbols. There's a lot of I guess spirituality in general up here on Mount Rubidoux. I mean, between a lot of the Catholic Christian imagery, the crosses, and a lot of monuments up here. This tower is dedicated to really the founder of Riverside and many towns around it, Frank Augustus Miller. And there's the plaque in his honor. And he, I believe he donated the land that became this park, Mount Rubidoux. This trail, it loops back and forth. It's a switchback trail, comes all the way up the mountain. Let me show you how far down it is. There's the town. There's Riverside all the way down the hill here. And so to get up here, you just have to climb that trail all the way up here. Not easy to get up here. And here we go. Here's a good view of the cross at the other end. They have sunrise services here on Easter Sunday. So there's a lot of Christian spirituality up here. A lot of these plaques are devoted to people's memory, and a lot of them talk about death and this idea of the dead being present here in our memories of them. A lot of the plaques have that kind of language, like the dead, they still walk these trails, they're still among us because we think of them, they live in our hearts. And several plaques like that, even benches dedicated to people. It's almost like there's this really present reminder of death up here. And as I chatted with a few other locals here, and they told me that apparently a few people have died up here. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if a few hikers might have died of heat exhaustion, dehydration, heart issues. Rumor has it, though, that some people ended their own life up here, too. So that's a big part of the local legends, the stories about supernatural things happening. People see dark figures floating about here at night sometimes. And here in this tower, locals told me that this tower, they call it the Ghost Light Tower. And they say you can see, let's take another look at it. You can see it's all chained up. No way to get in there. Bars up on the windows here. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's all barred up. And let's just see if anyone could get in. This is the front door. And let's take a peek inside. Watch that. What do we got in here? Interesting. Well, you know what? Actually, I'll bet a skinny kid could fit through there. Not me. Let's take a look at. Yeah, somebody's been partying in here. You know what? There might have been a vagrant made this his home at some point. Let's point the camera upwards. See if I can give you a view up the tower. Yeah. I don't know how visible that is. Up the tower here. And yeah, so you can see there's definitely been some human people spending time. I'll show you the opening. It's just about, sorry for the shaky camera work. The opening, it's about as wide as my sunglasses. I mean, so not a wide opening, but you could slip in there if you're skinny enough. Yeah. I am definitely not. But the local stories say that in this tower people see ghostly lights moving about inside the windows up there in the tower when nobody's here. They say there's a presence in that tower. And so another part of the mystique here of Mount Rubidoux, you've got all this kind of mystical imagery in the monuments up here. I mean, just the isolated nature of it. Oh, this is an interesting fact. Speaking of ghosts, speaking of the dead, check this out. It's right next to a cemetery, dude. Right down the hill is a huge-ass cemetery. So yeah, that's probably part of the mystique as well. Just down the hill from the mountain, they built a big cemetery, and so people tell these stories. And another story people tell, they say that they'll see little people, not short humans, but little people, gnomes, duendes, chaneques, aluches, whatever you want to call them. Some people call them attack gnomes in online posts. And they say these gnomes that they'll hide out in the brush here on Mount Rubidoux. They'll hide in the brush, and when people come by, the gnomes will throw rocks at them. And some people, they'll find cairns of rocks, like little rocks stacked on top of each other. And they say that the gnomes have put those cairns there to remind us that this is their land. And of course, in a lot of indigenous cultures, there are stories of the little people as guardians of nature. And this is definitely a natural spot. And I would guess that some settlements have been up here, some indigenous settlements. People say they've seen metates, like grinding stones around here. I spotted a couple that looked like they could have been used as grinding stones in ancient times to grind acorns into atole, into acorn mush. And so, of course, thousands of years of human history here, and some history of tragedy. If those stories of the suicides are true, you've got that history of anguish and tragedy. And all of that, as you know, if you follow my channel or anybody else who talks about ghost stories, it's a good recipe for a haunted place. So here we are again, up on Mount Rubidoux. I'll tell you one thing, whether or not it's haunted, as I hiked up here, the trail I took, it led me around that end on the Riverside end of the mountain and around the back, and then the trail loops around the back of the mountain, and that back end of the mountain, man, it is so creepy. It's just very foreboding and lonesome, and you kind of want to get away from there. You don't want to spend much time back there by yourself. So it's a very solitary place, but a beautiful place too. Mount Rubidoux. One last ghost story I'll tell you about this place. Frank Miller, of course, he's the man who owned the land that became March Air Force Base to the south of here, and owned a lot of this land. And he built the Mission Inn, the hotel in downtown Riverside, which I'll go visit after this. And so he built that, and the hotel, the Mission Inn, has a lot of ghost stories. They say it's haunted. I'll go check out some of those stories. And one of the rumors, as I met a couple of hikers, local guys here, they told me that there are catacombs. They said, yeah, there's catacombs under this shit here. They said there are tunnels underneath this mountain, and some say that those tunnels lead all the way to the Mission Inn, which, if I knew what the hell it looked like, I could point it out here in Riverside. But it's out there somewhere in downtown Riverside. And so that historic Mission Inn, which has ghost stories associated with it, Frank Miller's the connecting point. There are some rumors about him involved in the occult. And also, he owned the land that became Arch Air Force Base, which also, incidentally, has its own bizarre stories of UFOs and strange sightings, and even of Yucca Man, a huge, hairy Bigfoot type monster that some of the servicemen stationed there said that they saw walking around the desert with glowing red eyes late one night. So all these mysteries here in Riverside County. Let's give you one last look at the flag up there and the haunted tower right here, Mount Rubidoux, overlooking Riverside, California.